Hello guys, today we're going to talk about our last notes of this section, which is note 6, multiplying binomials. So there are two methods for multiplying binomials. There's FOIL, which is the oldest one in the book, which is probably what your parents and what Miss Humbert learned when she was in school. And the next method is a newer method, which I find to be a lot easier when trying to multiply binomials, and that is the box method. So first let's talk about this FOIL method. You notice that FOIL is actually going to stand for something. So the first thing you're going to do is multiply the first terms, the F of the FOIL. Then multiply the outside terms, the inside terms, and the last terms. Once you've multiplied all those things, you want to go back and combine like terms, and then you put it in standard form. You want all of your answers to always be in standard form. The other method is called the box method. You're going to draw your box, line up the binomials on the side of the box, and line up the terms. Then you're going to multiply the terms into each of the boxes. Then you're going to write out the terms you have listed in your boxes, combine like terms, and put it in standard form. Remember, it's not in standard form if your like terms are not combined. So take a second, write these down. Then we're going to go through and look at what each of them actually means. So let's take a look at number 1. Let's simplify it using FOIL. So we're going to multiply out the first terms. X times x squared. Remember, if there's no exponent, that's the same as x to the 1. X to the first times x to the first gives me x squared. Then you're going to multiply your outside terms. So I have x times a negative 4, which gives me negative 4x. Then you're going to multiply your inside terms, which is negative 1 times x, or negative x. Finally, you're going to multiply your last terms, which is negative 1. Oops, I put that in the wrong one. Your last terms are negative 1 times negative 4. Remember, when you multiply two negatives, your answer is a positive. So let's on the side here write out what we have. These are all separated by pluses and minuses depending upon their sign. So right now I have a degree 2 polynomial, but step number 5 says I need to combine like terms. Well, the only like terms I see are the ones with x. Remember, x squared and x cannot be combined. So I can combine those terms. And when I do that, I get x squared. Negative 4x minus x is going to give me minus 5x plus 4. To put that in standard form, well, this answer actually is in standard form. We checked. Our exponents are in descending order. Our constant is at the end. All like terms are combined. So actually, this guy right here is our final answer. Let's go ahead and look at another one. So let's try this one with the box method. So the first thing you want to do is multiply your box, or to draw out your box so we can multiply. So I do, this you guys will notice kind of looks like a Punnett square if you guys have done those in science to look at genetics. So I'm making a box of 4 because I have 2 terms times 2 terms. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put each binomial lined up with a box. So I picked 2 sides. You pick a side and you pick a top. Okay? Notice how each of these are positive, so I put them as positive. If any term inside the binomial is negative, then you need to write it out as negative. So we'll take a look at that a little bit later. So now that we've lined up the binomials on each side of the box, we're going to multiply the terms into the box. So for this square right here, I want to take x times x. Well, x times x gives me x squared. For this box right here, I want to take 2 times x, which gives me 2x. For this box right here, I want to take x times 5, which gives me 5x. And for that last box here, I want to take 2 times 5, which gives me 10. So this is the same process as doing that FOIL, the first, outside, inside, last. Same idea, it's just set up as a box. Once I have my box done, I can skip all the way down to step 4. Step 4 says to write out the terms from the box. So I have x squared plus 2x plus 5x plus 10. Step number 5 says to combine like terms. So I'm going to do that. I get x squared plus 7x plus 10. I can only add the x's together. Remember what like terms means. Okay, so we want to have the square term add with square term, x terms add with x terms. Last thing I need to check is that my answer is in standard form, which it is. My exponents are in descending order. Okay, so let's take a look at 3 or 4. For number 3, I want you to go ahead and try using that FOIL method. So for number 3, remember that's first, outside, inside, last. So go ahead and try that FOIL method right now and pause the video. Once you're done, I want you to try number 4 using the box method. Well, here's that tricky thing that I said about negatives. So when I write my binomials out for the box method, instead of writing 1, I'm going to write -1 since it's -1. Here I have x and here I have -3. You're going to multiply that out the same way you did any other one, except this time you're going to have negatives involved. Be careful and watch your negatives. You can check the answer key when you're done. All right, so the dancing nun is going to tell you something. I see students do this all the time, so please don't make this mistake. When you are multiplying a binomial squared looks like this. That's a binomial squared. Okay, what that actually means is this. I'm taking x plus 2 and I'm multiplying it twice. Okay, I see a lot of students are like, oh, I know that rule of exponents. I can just distribute in that too. No, 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 you can't. Okay? If there is that addition sign in the middle, like there is on this example, you can't just distribute the exponent in. Last week when we were multiplying monomials, we could distribute that exponent in because we were multiplying everything. Here, that addition sign changes everything. So let's practice these. Let's take a look at number 5, and then let's do number 6. I'm going to have you guys try number 5. But let's do number 6 together first. So remember, this is the same as x minus 2 times x minus 2. So then what I'm going to do is draw out my Punnett square, or my box. I'm going to use that method, and then I'm going to write my binomials with the box. Then I'm going to multiply into the box. So for this box right here, x times x is x squared. For this box here, -2 times x is -2x. For this box here, x times -2 is -2x. And lastly, for this box here, -2 times -2 is a +4. Once we have that done, we go ahead and we can write out our terms. Some of you, when you're looking in the boxes, might notice the like terms. You can combine them as you're writing it out. That's fine. I just like to write it out separately just so I can see it better. So x squared doesn't have any like terms. I can take -2x and subtract -2x, and that gives me -4x, and then I'm going to add 4. That's all I need to do for number 6. So you guys can go ahead and try that on number 5. Remember, you can't just distribute in the square. You have to look at it as multiplying two binomials together. So let's take a look. What happens if we're multiplying more than binomials? If you are multiplying something that's more than two binomials, the FOIL method will no longer work. The FOIL method only works if you have 2 terms times 2 terms. First, outside, inside, last. If you have 3 terms or if you have 4 terms, then you have to go ahead and use the box method. The box method is the most effective way of doing this. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do number 7, and I want you to try number 8. Okay, so for this, what I'm actually going to do is instead of making a box that's 2 by 2, I'm going to make a box that's 2 by 3. So I'm going to put my binomial going down the side, and then I'm going to write my trinomial across the top. Trinomial, 3 terms, tricycle, 3. Now, it's the same thing as when I had 4 boxes. I'm going to multiply into each box. So for that first box right here, I'm multiplying 2x squared times 4x. Well, first I multiply the coefficients. 2 times 4 is 8. X times x squared is x cubed. Next, I'm going to multiply this box. 5x times 4x is 20x squared. Next, I'm going to multiply into this box. 3 times 4x is 12x. Next, I'm going to multiply into this box. 2x times 9, sorry, 2x squared times 9 is 18x squared. Next, negative 5x times 9 is negative 45x. Lastly, 3 times 9 is going to give you 27. So let's write out those terms that we have. We have, this should, sorry, be 8x cubed. So we have 8x cubed plus 20x squared plus 12x plus 18x squared minus 45x plus 27. So if we go ahead and combine like terms, we're going to have to combine a couple things. Well, this, sorry, again, should be 8x cubed. This 8x cubed stays the same. So that's going to be our leading coefficient. Next, we need to combine 20x squared and 18x squared. When we do that, we are going to get, oh, sorry, that should be a negative 20x. So we're going to get a negative 2x squared. Humbert's struggling this morning. Okay, next we want to combine, and we are going to get a negative 45x and 12x. That gives us a negative 33x. And then our constant's going to be added on at the end. So you guys can go ahead and try number 8. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to set these two up for you. I know they look really scary, but you guys can do it. When I have 3 by 3, all I'm doing is I'm creating a 3 by 3 box. So I have y squared minus 2y, 5, 6y squared minus 3y, and 1. Over here, same thing. I'm setting up a 3 by 3 box. M squared, 2m minus 3, 4m squared minus 7m plus 5. What I want you to do right now is just pick one of these. I've set up both of them for you. I want you to pick one and try it. Okay, see if you can get the right answer. Remember, once you've multiplied everything into the boxes, when you rewrite it out, you have to combine like terms. I'll give you a hint with these. Your like terms are going to be going up diagonals. So take a look for that when you're multiplying these through. You pick one of those and multiply them out. Let's take a look at this one. I'm going to set this one up for you, and then I want you to go ahead and multiply it out to give me the answer. The area of a triangle is half the product of the base times height. So let's write that out in words. So area is 1/2 base times height. That's one of those formulas that I want you to be remembering. So here is our base. Here is our height. So let's write out the formula of an area. So area equals 1/2 of our base times our height. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to set up your box for this one. And we have 2x plus 3, 3x minus 1. Multiply into that box. You should get your 4 terms. Then write your answer out in standard form. But when you write it out in standard form, once you're done, I want you to multiply everything by 1/2. So see if you can get the right answer on that one. So that concludes this notes. Once you are done, go ahead and take the quiz after this, and then you can put your iPad away and start working on the homework, which is at Miss Humbert's desks.